My name's Jennifer Smith. This is my husband, Marty Smith. We were both born and raised in northern Nevada. He's from Reno. I'm from the Minden-Gardnerville area. And we've been married about 17 years. We have two sons, aged 9 and 17, so we stay nice and busy. Marty is a firefighter at the airport, and I'm a litigation paralegal, so neither of us come from a coffee background, but we'll get to that part shortly. Our background obviously is not in coffee, so that came from somewhere. Our family actually started roasting coffee in Sequim, Washington back in 2009. That is when Rainshadow was born, if you will. So thankfully for us, we're really fortunate because they did a lot of the actual footwork of learning the process and fine-tuning and perfecting their profiles. And so Rainshadow Sierra is able to sort of carry that on without having to do those, that decade of work. So the Sequim location is what eventually came to be back in 2009 after our Uncle Don started roasting, and that still exists. It's run mainly by his son Nick, and then Don also goes back and forth quite often and visits and helps back there. The Paso location was a satellite location that opened up a couple of years ago. Don actually went back to his roots, if you will, to Southern California, sunny Southern California, and opened that really small location. We have been chatting with them for about the last 5 years about possibly opening a Rainshadow location here in Reno. And so as that conversation sort of evolved over years and we decided we were ready to take the plunge, he decided to relocate all of that equipment from Paso to here. So that Paso location is now technically closed and their customers are able to purchase from us, but now what exists is the Rainshadow down or up in Sequim and Rainshadow Sierra here in Reno. You can think of it as just like when you cook or process any food, you're taking a certain substance and you're doing whatever you need to do to it to make it into another. And so with coffee, it just so happens that everything is one substance. You might have a different kind of bean that came from a different region, but it's all coffee beans. So you take those and then you apply certain pressure, certain heat, specifically, obviously, and then you apply certain indicators and timing that you are looking for. So from that one bean or those few beans that are from different locations, you apply a different process in what you're observing and what you're looking for throughout whatever time span you think you should be hitting those indicators at. And out of that, you create a profile. So it's like a recipe, just like when you're cooking food, you got all your different ingredients. When it comes to roasting coffee, you've got all your different indicators, which all have to do with time and temperature and paying attention. And so what that comes down to in the end is you have to be very specific in order to just ensure consistency in what your customer is looking for. There's a couple different kinds of coffee drinkers. There's coffee drinkers that know exactly what they like, and they know that they like dark or they know that they like light. And so obviously we'd make a recommendation based off of that. Then there's coffee drinkers who might drink coffee every single day and they have no idea what they're drinking. So for that kind of person who is looking for a little bit more guidance, I say I would go with something medium roast. And for example, Sun Chaser is our most popular when it comes to like restaurants. They want to pick something that most drinkers are going to enjoy. So I would say start with something like that, middle of the road. Try that at least, a few times, see how you like that. And then I would say try something on one end of the other spectrum, or not an end of the spectrum, but a step down or up in the spectrum of darkness, if you will. So if you try a little bit lighter and you go, not so much compared to that other one, I would say, well, try a little darker. You may go, oh, wow, now I liked that one, but I really like this one. And that's kind of what I suggest to figure it out. So we use 100% Arabica beans. Those are premium beans. Any coffee lover will tell you. And we source them from small farmers in a variety of different countries. We do have our basic single origin coffees that we at Rainshadow use to make any of our signature blends. And they are actually sitting right here behind me. We've got beans from Ethiopia, Costa Rica, Brazil, Guatemala, and then a couple different growing regions in Sumatra. And really the big difference between all of those, is just soil and climate. That's what's going to change your beans where they're coming from. We only purchase naturally grown and produced beans, so we don't use and the farmers don't use chemicals when they're being grown. And our decaf, for example, they don't even use chemicals to decaffeinate what we purchase as a decaf product. It uses a Swiss water process is what it's called. And so we try to stick to as natural as possible and from small farmers who are out there growing them just for us. So we actually were very fortunate in that we've been talking about bringing Rainshadow Sierra into Reno for a number of years. And last year we were about to dive in, but we had not made any big commitments when COVID hit yet. And so luckily we were able to then sort of time things along with COVID and see how things were going and really prime ourselves to be ready to operate now as businesses are starting to open up again. But it definitely has changed the way that we're going to do business and think about business. Obviously nobody expected a pandemic to hit. You never know what's going to happen next. And so I think it just really emphasized the importance of having a diverse customer base and a diverse network and having just different modes of being able to deliver your product to your customer. So we are working on getting into a number of different grocery stores. In the meantime, online is really the easiest. Our website is rainshadowcoffeesierra.com. You can purchase anything online there, different size bags, different variations of grinds. We do deliver, ship throughout the US. There's a flat fee for shipping, or all orders over $50 are free. And we also actually have an in-store pickup option for locals that is free. We don't have set hours right now that the door is open, but if you want to order and place an order for pickup, I'll reach out usually within a couple of hours at most and just set something up, set a good time for you to swing by and pick it up. As we do start getting into different stores and things like that throughout town, and plan on just putting a page on the website that lets people know where they can pick it up. So obviously a big deal for us at Rainshadow is our labels. Anybody who has looked us up or sees our coffees knows that we have an artist who has done all of the signature labels for Rainshadow. Those all existed prior to coming to Sierra, so we're excited to get him working on a couple of labels just for us at this location. So it only makes sense that we want to offer a private label option for other businesses to use their logo to be able to market their products. Obvious customer would be like a cafe who's really into their branding and marketing and wants to be able to resell a bagged item like that. But what people don't even think of, and I think is one of my favorite things, is that any kind of business might want to do a private label. Everybody wants to market their business, obviously, and a lot of people want unique items, not even for resale so much, but maybe for client gifts or for customer appreciation gifts. And so we can really work with anybody who wants to develop something, whether it's an existing logo or something from scratch that we need to work with a graphic designer to put that on the coffee and use it for whatever they want to use it for. Fundraising is another idea that's a great one I can think of. The nice thing is we don't need to do like a certain minimum order for a private label coffee. We really just need to get a label designed and pick out a coffee, or even custom design a coffee if you want to do your own roast. And then we can just have it ready to go so you can order as needed. That would be really cool if we get to the point where we can do that someday. There is a Rainshadow cafe up in Swim, and a lot of people don't know that already unless you're up there. For now, I think we just want the basics. We want our business to get established, be more well-known, and be around for years to come. I think we want to be known, obviously, for a great product that people always want to come back to. And we want to be great partners with a lot of other businesses in town and help them grow their businesses. And I think most importantly, beyond just paying the bills and being around a long time like any business wants to, we want to be known as a partner in the community. We love to be involved and to give back, and opening this business is a great opportunity to finally be able to do that on a much bigger scale. I just want to say thank you to A&H for doing this kind of stuff for your customers. There's not a lot of inexpensive, especially ways to market yourself, but just to get out there to different customer bases and things like that. And this is an awesome thing you're providing for your clients, so we appreciate it.